Hello and welcome to Gin and Cake.
Well, hello, Sharon. How are you this evening?
Joel, I'm wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. It's Friday night and I'm living the dream right now, making a podcast with you.
Aw, that's your dream?
Well, sometimes.
Okay, that's fair. I'll take it. That's a high compliment. This is what we said before. This is the first podcast attempt for either of us, but it's something I think we've both wanted to do for a while.
A long time, yeah.
And sometimes it's about finding the right podcast partner. And we kind of figured we would be that for each other, and I think it turns out we are.
So far, everyone seems to agree, and I certainly do, because you're fun to talk to, and we have lots in common.
Yeah, we sure do.
I hope everyone agrees with that.
Well, by everyone, you mean Zach, right?
Yeah, Zachary.
Yeah.
Love you, Zachary.
Did we get any new or interesting tweets or Facebooks or anything like that?
We've had several things liked by random contestants from the show.
Okay.
And a couple of comments responded to. So, again, I will encourage everyone to, if you don't, go ahead and follow our Twitter at Gin and Cake Pod, P-O-D. We follow a lot of the contestants. We retweet a lot of their posts, which also include really cool recipes and just fun stuff that they're doing. And we occasionally put in the slightly snarky response, as we should.
Yeah, and by we you mean you, because you do all of that.
Yeah, when we say we, it's me.
Yeah.
So Joel is not responsible for my snark.
I would never want to be, because your snark is perfect. I think you hit exactly the right balance. Oh, and some new news. I'm coming to you with a new modem, which it turned out my other modem, I had some connectivity problems. The other modem was very old.
Like a 2400?
Just about. I mean, it was steam driven, so that should have been my first clue. So, nice person came by today to switch it out, so hopefully we'll be rock solid from here on.
They are the hero we need.
Yeah.
Oh, right now I'm thinking about the modem sound. I miss that.
Well, I've been doing, in the last episode, I did do some sound effects and audio clip work for the first time, but I'm not going to stoop so low as to put in the obvious, baud dial-up modem sound. That's just, we want to be a little bit more sophisticated.
Not even for me, Joel.
Well, maybe for you. All right,
Come
we'll
on,
do it.
Man, I miss
We'll
that
do a little
thing.
bit of it.
See, now that we have constant connectivity, it's not fun anymore. Before, it was like a challenge whether you were going to get through.
Yeah.
And when you finally realized you were connected, there was that just sheer joy of touching the world. Now it's like, it's in my pocket, blah, blah, blah.
I know. Everything becomes, we take it for granted so easily, but that's, maybe that's part of why we progress as a species. We're never satisfied.
That's a good point, Joel. Wow, I feel really enriched right now.
Oh, cool. Is it me or is it the whiskey?
Could be the whiskey. It is a Dalwhinnie evening because...
Oh, beautiful.
It's the semifinals, and I think that deserves something nice.
It does. I'm just going with Jack Daniels, not quite as fancy as your Dalwhinnie.
That's all right. It's still brown and delicious.
It is that.
Anything else we should be correcting or commenting on before we...
not this time. At least not as far as I know.
That's a shame because I really love that buzzer sound. That was awesome.
Oh, it was fun. We'll find some other way to work it in.
Well, before we get going, I will say today, our recording day, April 7th, National Beer Day, everybody. I know. It's kind of awesome.
Oh, if I'd known that, I would have changed my drink up.
I don't care for beer, but it's fun to have a National Beer Day. Like, that isn't every day.
So really not even craft brews and micro brews and home brews, just not your thing?
No. Jeff, my husband, brews from time to time. Many of our friends brew. And I like the smell of it, but I don't care for the taste of beer. And I do admire the craftsmanship of making it. I would like to make beer. I would not want to drink the beer.
Okay, well, it is a pretty complex chemistry experiment every time.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, and having I guess it's called a carboy bubbling away in your back room and burping while you're trying to watch TV is weird, but also kind of cool. Because it's like bread, right? Yeast is alive, so it's back there breathing. It's kind of creepy and awesome.
It's something that's making something for you.
Yes, exactly. It doesn't know that it's doing it even. It's our little slave.
That's sad. I wish they knew that they were making something that we enjoy.
Maybe they do. We don't know.
That's your good point. Good point.
Maybe they do. There's a whole world of consciousness on the yeast level that we don't know about.
Probably true.
Might be.
Yeah. Now, onto my more practical matters, I do have one word of advice. I bought a new car on Monday.
Did you? What did you get?
Yay! I got a Toyota Prius. So it's a hybrid. I always wanted the next one to be a hybrid so I could be a little bit more, environmentally friendly and whatnot. Lower my carbon footprint, all that stuff. First new car I've gotten in 15 years.
That's awesome.
And most of the haggling you can do these days just with email.
I love that.
Yeah, just pit one online service rep against another, or pit 5 of them against each other, and let them duke it out. And that's where most of the haggling happened. It made it so much faster and easier and stress-free.
The next time I buy a car, I'm going to get you to show me how to do that because I hate haggling with a passion.
It's awful. You have to go in there with no heart at all.
I just can't do it. I can't. Yeah. I would be the worst shopper in Morocco of all time. Because any price you tell me, okay, that's fine.
I'm pretty much the same way too in person, but over email it's a lot easier to haggle.
I could probably be much meaner in writing than I am in person.
Yeah, because you don't have the face-to-face connection, so it's easier to not be emotionally engaged.
I like it. So which Prius did you get?
The 2017. So it's the new one.
Is it like a C or an S or?
Oh, good. Yeah, it's the Prius 2.
Prius 2. That's like the medium one.
I think so. Yeah, cool. Yeah. It's definitely not the top end, which I didn't need. I had a certain budget, and they got me to that budget. So I was like, all right, you got a deal.
Oh, I'm gonna have to get more details on that because eventually we're gonna need a new car.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Do you? I'm so excited for you because your car was old.
15 years old. It was a great trooper. It took me lots of places, but yeah, it was time.
I say that knowing that my car's going on 13. Who am I to talk old? So you never know.
Yep.
Might need a little Prius or something.
I
like a little Leaf. Those are cool.
A Leaf?
Something completely electric might be interesting.
Oh, that'd be wonderful. Yeah.
I don't commute, so.
Oh, true. Yeah, you can make that work.
I could make that work. Or I could just get off my butt and bike like a normal person.
In South Florida, West Central Florida, that's challenging most of the year.
It's fun for like 4 months, and then the rest of the time, it's a living hell.
It's awful.
Well, maybe I should just move. I'll spend my car money on move.
Hey, that's an option as well. But before you do that, we have episode 9, Patisserie, to get to.
We sure do. And it is the semi-finals. We are down to 4 contestants, from whom one will be called to send 3 to the final. And it is exciting stuff.
Yep, and those contestants are Richard, Louie, Nancy, and Chetna.
Yes, and they're all so talented. It's not like there's no dud in the bunch.
Oh, yeah.
Well, then, maybe we should go on and start watching the show.
Let's do it.
What do you think, everyone? Again, we're starting in 6 seconds in. Just past your PBS logo if you have one. If not, just start the show. Again, available on Amazon, PBS, or Netflix. As far as I know, it's not available on Amazon Prime at the moment, which is odd, but okay, fine. So, you want to do a little countdown?
Sure. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and hit play.
This is the semi-final. Oh, yes.
And we are going.
Yes, we are.
Here's our beautiful Sue and Mel in the extra tent, which I now realize is actually its own tent based on that shot.
Oh, yeah, it did seem like a self-contained little tent.
I just thought it was attached to the end, but clearly it's farther away than I ever expected. And that is cool.
I guess that's a sound issue, because if they're doing their spiel, you kind of want clean sound for that.
Well, and also you don't want people peeking over their shoulders.
Oh, sure.
While they're judging. Now, this is funny, watching the 4 of them walk in. They're all so natural when they're actually cooking, but when they do these little staged things where they're walking, what a bunch of goofballs. I mean, they look so uncomfortable. They're so obviously not pros, which I love.
Yeah, it's like the producer said, all right, pretend you're walking in slow motion away from a massive explosion.
And now we're walking for the 7th time. Everyone try to look natural. And it's been, they've been doing this for 8 weeks and they still look like a bunch of, teenagers walking down a hall at high school.
It's endearing, totally endearing.
It is very endearing.
Now, this is new. They're doing some retrospectives on our 4 finalists.
Yeah, there's a lot more introduction here. Just to remind us who they are. Nancy, our first star baker, and just always so good, so good. Her bakes are beautiful. She's had a few oddballs there. That one with the Cinco de Mayo thing. That cake. That was terrible.
Yeah. I mean, she's experimented quite a bit through this.
She has, but she's never really lost that sensibility of doing it right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very aggressive. Here's Richard. He's got 4-star bakers coming into this show.
Yeah, more than anyone else by at least 2, I think.
Yes, and a construction worker. You just have to admire his ability to do 2 different trades. I love it.
Indeed, yeah.
We had Chetna and Louis, the king of really tight perfection. Love that about Louis.
Yeah, so specific and planned every time.
And they're all so nice.
They are. That's why it's like, I don't want anyone to go, and I'll be happy for anyone who wins.
Exactly. Now look at all the hosts' outfits. They look like Easter eggs. Everyone's very bright today.
You're right.
Very bright clothing today. Especially that purple shirt on Paul, which I must say looks good.
It does. He wears it well. Now they're making baklava for this first challenge.
Baklava is the signature challenge. And this is supposed to be, going back to the very beginning, we talked about this was supposed to be something you knew how to do really well. Who in the world makes baklava?
I don't know.
I've never made it. I don't know anyone who's ever made it, let alone make your own phyllo dough, which what?
Well, there you go. I mean, that right there ups the complication of it.
Yeah.
By an order of magnitude, I would imagine.
Ooh, back to orders of magnitude. I love it when you use mathy terms.
That's what you call a callback.
Oh, I like it. So
now,
phyllo.
correct me if... Yeah, now phyllo, but correct me if I'm wrong. This episode is called Patisserie, which I thought meant French pastries.
I think it just means pastry, more complicated pastry, as opposed to, even just a croissant. That's not patisserie.
Okay.
But, I wonder where the line is. If we went to, Culinary Institute of America, where would they draw the line between, bread, cake, and patisserie? I don't know where that line is. Seems like a very gray area.
Well, all these patisseries have multiple elements to them, and something like croissants only have really one element, right? It's just phyllo dough.
Well, it's puff pastry or sort of, bread dough. But this was interesting. They're adding vinegar, and I had to look that up. I thought, what? You're adding vinegar? And vinegar in the dough makes the gluten more flexible so that you can pull it really, really thin without it tearing. So that's why they're beating it over and over and over again.
Interesting.
Until it gets super smooth, because they're trying to get those gluten threads really big and flexy. It's pretty cool.
Now, as much as I don't...
Sorry.
Go.
No, you go.
Well, I was going to say, as much as I don't have a sweet tooth, baklava is one exception for me. Not that I eat a lot of it, but I do love it.
I agree. I like it, but one piece and, that's enough.
Yeah.
It's kind of sickly. But I had to look up phyllo means leaf in Greek. Didn't know that.
Neat.
As opposed to philo, as in philosophy, which means love. 2 completely different words.
And yet they all come together in croissant because I love them. And they're leafy. Yeah. Flaky.
Why would we call them croissant? That's all wrong.
Well, the shape, right?
Indeed. So here's Chetna, who once again Paul has poked at.
Yes.
And now she's all nervous about herself. Paul, don't do that. Don't be like that.
Yeah, but then, Mary bucked her back up.
Well, that's their job, right? Good cup, bad cup.
Oh, yeah.
Chetnas look really good, though. She's using a lot of chai spices, and it just sounds delicious. And here's Louis, who's doing something completely different.
Yeah, maybe a little too different.
We'll see. But yeah, they look like mini muffin pan, and he's making like a muffin-shaped phyllo cup.
Yeah, certainly not a traditional baklava.
Not at all. Not at all. It's pretty, but absolutely not Norma. And the halva.
And what is that?
Halva just means like a really dense dessert, very sweet, usually like a nut butter or like tahini, sesame paste. That's halva.
Okay.
It's just a Middle Eastern term for sort of these nut pastes. But they're very sweet. Very sweet. And here's Nancy.
Yeah, doing a muesli filling for her baklava.
You know, I kind of love that idea.
Me too. That seems to like be completely appropriate for baklava.
Yeah, it's that sort of nutty, crumbly mixture that goes inside and then, sweeten it up. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Breakfast baklava. I'm all about it.
And what is the traditional filling for baklava? I mean, honey is a big thing. I know that.
Nuts. Either walnuts or pistachios,
Okay.
usually. You just put nuts in. And the honey is there to sort of hold it all together because nuts, of course, are so crumbly and oily. And the honey just sort of sucks it all together and keeps it wet. Because otherwise, those ingredients together can be really dry.
Ah, yeah.
Apple syrup, though. What a great idea. Instead of just honey. I love it. That's so unique.
Now, I miss it. Did she mention if she's making the apple syrup, or is that something that you can just buy?
Oh, no, I'm sure she's making it. You see those big pans on the side there?
Ah.
She's making something. Now, whether she's just, boiling down apple juice, I'm not sure. Probably. That's what I would do.
Is that all it would take?
Yeah. It's like apple cider concentrate. You're just boiling it down to make syrup. But all you're doing is boiling off the water and leaving the sugar in place.
Ah, okay. Ooh, and now I'm on board with the pistachio and rosewater.
I am too. And I love that, Richard keeps using these really delicate floral flavors. I don't know why he keeps nailing that so well, but he really knows how to do that. So many people don't. But he did, in eclairs, he used rose. And then lavender.
Okay, yeah, I knew that rose had shown up at some previous episode, but I couldn't remember where.
Well, there was Norman's lavender meringue, which not so skillful with the flavoring. But,
Yeah.
He experimented. Bless his heart. He tried.
He sure did.
I was curious about baklava, so I looked it up because it seems like something that's just around everywhere in the Middle East. And it goes all the way back to pre-Roman.
Really?
Cato wrote the first recipe recognized as baklava, even though it wasn't called baklava.
The name Cato rings a bell, but I can't tell you more than that.
Cato the Elder is one of the great writers and historians of Roman history, one of the live view historians, Except they didn't call it baklava. This is so gross. They called it placenta.
Okay.
Which, what? I don't know. I did not look up the origins of that word because I was like, that's enough. But yeah, it was called placenta, but it was baklava. Where you layer it in, except they use like a cheese filling. Cheese and nuts. Fascinating. Just really interesting.
I wonder if placenta meant the same thing to them that it means to us.
I don't know. Some kind of like layered thing.
Huh.
Which, I mean, I could see it. I guess that matches, but I don't know.
Interesting.
I'm not going to look that up, though, because I don't want to run any imagery. Ugh.
Fair enough. Yeah. It's too easy for that kind of thing to happen.
Damn you, Internet. With your image defaults. Not going to ask, but I think the word baklava is Turkish.
Ah, okay.
That's kind of... Now, look, she's stretching this thing out. It's just ridiculously big.
Yeah, it's translucent.
And here's Sue. She wants to put it on her face as a mask, which is creepy in a very Silence of the Lambs kind of way.
Yeah. Ugh.
No, there she's doing it now.
Well, she looks like an alien from one of the earlier Doctor Who seasons. They did what they could,
I guess. They didn't have a lot of money, so let's roll out some dough and put it on people. Although, now that I say that out loud, that's a pretty good method for you budget filmmakers out there.
Oh, sure.
And now they're in assembly. Okay, so what do you think of Louis? Is that baklava or not?
I don't know. I mean, there was some discussion a little while ago about whether or not baklava is defined by its shape, and Paul seems to think that it is. I don't know where Mary stands on that, though.
I would think it would be defined by its layers. You want those little crunchy layers in there?
Yeah. And I don't think he's really getting layers. I mean...
No, I'm not feeling that. It seems more like just a phyllo pie dough, really. And so now here's Chetna. She's made chocolate phyllo, which Paul gave her some crap about, but I think it looks kind of neat.
Yeah. And she's the only one doing that.
Yeah. I mean, would the flavor come through? I don't know. Oh, Richard's doing one huge roll.
Yeah, and came up with a very clever way of getting it to roll properly.
Ah, this is the old jelly roll way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. We've seen this before.
Yes, we have, except that's huge. Yeah, that does not look okay. Nancy's made what looks like a baklava coprolite.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was thinking more like a sandworm from Dune.
Oh, yeah. Well, that works too. Maybe after it's baked, it'll look like a coprolite.
Ah, yeah. Probably.
Look it up, people.
It's a good word.
It really is. It so doesn't sound like what it is.
No.
But it's cool. I mean, who wouldn't want one as a paperweight? I would.
Oh, I totally.
And here that. So, yeah, so she's making her syrups. Everyone's making their syrups.
So there's a big variation in both the shape and the fillings in these different baklavas.
Which, in many ways, doesn't surprise me because it is such a common dessert. I mean, there's versions of baklava probably in, 20 different countries.
Oh.
The Mediterranean, for all their fighting, which, I'm sorry to say, we're now embroiled in yet again, their cuisines are surprisingly similar. I mean, they have so much in common. All these little cultures around the Mediterranean have just endlessly lists of things in common, but they can't seem to stop fighting. So, okay. That makes me sad.
Yeah, because clearly there's a lot of commonality.
There really is. I wish we could all just sit down over a delicious meal and just stop this nonsense. But
Yeah, I expect the vast majority of people would be totally okay with that.
I think you're right. Generally speaking, I think you're correct. Because food makes everybody happy. Especially baked food.
Yeah, and now Nancy's not really confident about her baked food. She's a little concerned.
She is. She thinks hers are a little underdone. They don't look super brown. And that's tough to do in a short time frame. Generally speaking, the baklava recipes I've seen kind of go overnight. Where you
really?
let that syrup really soak in. And they've only got a couple hours, so okay.
Yeah, Louis look beautiful, but they just don't look like baklava to me.
I agree. Yeah. Nancy's look good. I mean, as baklava goes, but yeah, finesse, not so much.
Yeah.
Ooh. Everyone's run this right to the end.
Yeah.
Ah, the teacher smacked their little hands.
Even Louis, who's usually ahead of the pack.
He is. Usually he's cleaning his bench by now.
Yeah.
Not this time. Not this time. They all look kind of good, though.
Oh, yeah.
And so we're starting with Nancy and breakfast baklava. Plus coffee and chocolate. That sounds pretty good.
Oh, yes. Excellent combination. Yeah, underbaked.
But, it still looks good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Crunchy.
That does look good.
It does. So it just didn't get quite brown enough. What's the big deal?
Yeah. She's hit all the marks except for appearance, and only a little bit of appearance.
Here's coffee and chocolate. Mary looks pretty happy.
All right, she did well.
Yay! And she got points for originality. Nice.
Excellent. All right, so now we find out if this is baklava or not.
Is it baklava or not? It does not look like baklava to me. I'm not buying it, Louis.
So he's done some research.
Well, sure he did, but
But
like, I would eat it. There's no doubt I would eat it. They're beautiful.
oh yeah, I mean, I guess it really doesn't matter what an encyclopedia says. It matters what the judges think baklava is.
However, it is dry. He did not get them all nice and syrupy as baklava should be. It's also delicious. Here, they're looking at his second one. Also dry. Not good.
Unfortunate.
Oh, that's a total fail for Louis, which is so rare.
Yeah, very rare.
And here are Richard's little squishy. I don't think I've ever seen baklava that looks like that in like a squishy roll. Have you?
Not that I can recall.
That's not popular here.
I just remember seeing the squares with the layers.
Yeah, the little triangles.
Yeah. But they're not bing-bonging him on the shape.
No, they like it. Maybe that's more common there, where they have more people from Eastern Europe and Mediterranean cultures in London. I wonder. Maybe they see more than we do.
Yeah, but Richard got nearly full marks on his.
Yes, he did. And here's Chet's, which I must say look lovely.
They really do.
I think they look terrific. I love those little swirls. So cute. They look pretty excited.
No layers. It did seem like a little bit thick on the dough.
Maybe. Oh, yeah, too thick.
Ah.
Yeah. The chocolates. Look how cute that is. Although, interestingly, hers looks kind of cup-like too. Very similar to Louis'.
That's true. That's true.
It's almost like all the layers on the outside, and then there's a big pile of filling in the middle.
Maybe his were more obviously cup-like because of the star shape, and it really drew attention to itself.
Maybe. I love Chetna there. She's like, oh, I try to do my best, and no, I don't want to go home.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Sometimes it's not enough to participate. She should want to win. Why wouldn't you want to win?
Oh, sure.
You can come this far. Here's Nancy saying, I don't even like baklava. But she did a good job.
Well, Louis defending his choices. That's fine.
You have to. He committed.
Richard being so humble in his victory.
Oh, yeah. But he's pleased.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he said, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm not, I'm not a genius, but I'm okay at baking.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
you are, Richard. Oh, that's our guy. So here we come up to the technical. The second to last technical ever.
That's right. Got it. Fast season.
I know. It's a Paul recipe, which is interesting because they're going to make cake. So that surprises me that it would be Paul.
Yeah, because he's such a bread guy.
He is a bread guy. There was Mary offering to stay. Nope, she gets the boot as well. She's so cute. Can't stand it. Here we go. What are we going to make?
Quite a bit of build-up here.
There is a lot, probably because of the name of it. Schicktorte. That's German, y'all.
Okay, yeah, they did a little back and forth there that reminded me of an Abbott and Costello routine.
Schicktorte. Yeah, it does have that sound to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, German is not a gentle language.
It's not, but it has some fantastic words.
Oh, yes.
I love the way they build words. Oh, I heard one today. I'll share it with you.
Oh, please.
Backpfeifengesicht.
Whoa, that's a mouthful.
Backpfeifengesicht. I'm sure I'm saying that horribly wrong. Backpfeifengesicht, which means a face in need of a fist.
Wow. That's a heck of a word.
It's a huge word, but it means punchable. And I love it.
That is terrific.
I'm going to remember that for the rest of my life because it's useful.
Can you say it one more time for those of us trying to learn along?
I'll spell it. Backpfeifengesicht. Backpfeifengesicht.
Wow. I love it.
I know. Well, we can think of more than a few people for whom that applies.
You're not wrong.
Now, here is this beautiful cake, and they call it grilled. I think here in America, people would know the grill is the broiler. So you're basically cooking a cake under a broiler. The top element in your oven.
I mean, these just look like layers of very thin pancakes, like crepes or something.
Like crepes, yeah, but it's like crepes made one after the other on top of each other. Seems very complicated.
Yeah. I'm not sure what the advantage of that is, really, other than it makes for a nice appearance, I guess, when you slice
I
it.
guess, but I can't imagine that. I mean, it's not like when you're using this kind of batter, it's going to take particularly different from layer to layer. The darker layer might be a little more caramelized, but yeah, I don't get it.
I expect it's just to impress your guests with that many layers.
Probably you cut it in, you're like, ooh.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I would not bother with this. It seems like an awful lot of work for meh. Oh, and there's Louie having some fun at Chetna's expense. Everybody's happy. We're all friends. Love it. And they have to make 20 layers of this. Which, okay, let's say each layer takes like 4 minutes to cook, 5 minutes to cook.
Mm-hmm.
That's 100 minutes of standing there shoving this in and out of the oven.
And I missed how much time they have to do this.
I don't remember. A couple hours, but not many. 2 hours, maybe?
Okay.
I don't know.
Huh.
I was talking. I wasn't listening.
So what temperature would you go with baking these layers? Because they have to do, first of all, alternating light and dark layers.
Well, now see, this is a complication because it sounds like a grill in a British oven can be controlled temperature-wise, but, and I don't know how your broiler is, but my broiler is a broil setting. You don't get a choice.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is just one temperature for us.
I have no idea how they're doing that. Because you can't turn on the whole oven because the bottom will cook. That's the whole point. You're always cooking the top, which keeps the bottom theoretically from drying out. But if you put the whole oven on, it would be dry immediately. So, I don't know. It's a mystery.
Well, Richard just said he's going to bake it at full whack.
Nancy's is at 220 degrees Celsius, whatever that is.
Okay. I guess not full whack then.
I don't know. Maybe it is. But yeah, my broiler's not controllable. It is what it is. Maybe that's a convection oven thing. I don't have a convection oven. We should put this on Zachary.
Oh, yes.
Zachary, find out more about grills for us, would you?
Please help us.
Come on, be a buddy. We're going to have to buy Zachary a lot of drinks someday. You realize that?
I think so. I'm all for it.
I'm down with it. Yeah, it really is like crepes.
Yeah,
it's like
absolutely.
Like some kind of cross between sponge cake and crepes. Because that's super light batter. Very pretty. Yeah. I'd be so bored.
Well, yeah, but also bored, but in a state of frenzy because there's so many layers to get done and then other things to do on top of that.
Yep. Well, and of course, here's Louie being very smart about it, writing it down. Because how would you keep track of that? Nancy's writing hers down. Very smart. Check them off. Richard, I don't think is writing his down, and I'm not sure what Chetna's doing.
Odd that Richard isn't, because he's usually pretty specific with his builder background.
Yeah.
But maybe he's just, got a good enough mind to keep it all straight in his head.
And Chetna just looks like she's in a panic.
Yeah.
She wants to know if she should turn it on harder.
Yeah. And,
maybe.
And she just used the term whack up. So I guess whack is just another British term that I'm not familiar with.
Whack it up?
Yeah.
Turn it up. She's just talking about, moving the thing up.
Yeah, I just had never heard it used before.
Oh, no? Oh, I like that one.
Yeah, it's cute.
Now they're making the chocolate glaze, and once again, the instructions are nothing.
Yeah.
Make a chocolate glaze.
Well, are there a lot of variations to chocolate glaze?
I wouldn't think so. I mean, you have the ingredients. It may just be a matter of how you put them in. I don't make a lot of chocolate glaze, so I don't know. Oh, yeah, see. There was a comment there. If you don't cool it to the right temperature, it won't get hard as a glaze. It'll just pour off.
I would imagine that's a tough balance to hit, where it's pourable, but then not so pourable that it's not going to set down.
Exactly. And you have to make sure your cake's not hot when it goes on because that ruins everything. So they're doing all these layers, and Nancy's like, I don't think I'm going to have enough time. Because she's got the worry. If I spend time making the layers, I won't have enough time to cool the cake and I won't be able to put the glaze on.
Yeah.
So which one do you sacrifice?
Yeah. Tough spot to be in.
I know. And she's like, who's counting? Okay, if you don't know that Paul's going to count layers when he's told you to do 20, you're an idiot. Come on, man. You know he's going to count.
Now, are they putting raw batter on top of the already grilled layers? Mm-hmm. Okay, and then they put it back in the...
And they put it back in the oven.
Okay.
So the broiler is cooking the layer that's on top.
Okay, which you said earlier, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not drying out the stuff on the bottom, theoretically.
Okay, now I get it.
And Louis has managed 20 layers. Good for Louis. And he takes the lid off, and yeah, it just looks like pancakes, like crepes. It's kind of weird looking, though.
Yeah.
Ooh, no, that did not look good.
I mean, they all kind of look that way, though, so I guess thank goodness for chocolate glaze.
Yeah, I think they're all they're either squat or not squat, depending on how well they made their initial sponge batter.
Yeah. This just looks like a thick stack of pancakes from IHOP to me.
It really does. Yeah, we should put that little whipped cream and fruit face on the top and call it a day.
I don't know that would pass muster with Mary and Paul.
I don't know. If you're going to fail big. That's what I think.
That's not bad advice.
Just go ahead and draw a face on it. I would love to see that. So, they put their lovely chocolate glaze on, and then they come through with the vanilla glaze and just put a big smiley face on it. Why not?
Well, that's pouring nicely. Will it set?
It is, and here's Richard confessing, yeah, I didn't really have the time, so it's hot, and it's just going to pour right off. And here's Nancy, who thinks that the sides shouldn't be glazed, which kind of boggles my mind because anyone can see that those sides look horrible.
Yes. They clearly need something to cover them up.
Oh, Chet is freaking out. She's freaking out. And here comes vanilla glaze. Schicktorte.
Such a name.
It's horrible.
Yeah, it's really the most unappetizing sounding thing.
Kinda, yeah. I mean, after the Queen Amman, which is a weird name, but at least sounds okay. Schicktorte. Oh, someone's making a spider web. Oh, that's it. Bring them up.
Interesting choice to do a spider web as a design.
Oh, it's sort of a classic two-color icing design.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, because it's not hard to do. And then we've got just basic stripes for everybody else. So here we are looking at Nancy's. Meh. They're okay about it. And let the counting begin.
And he's smiling like...
Oh,
he knows he's being tough. It's like...
Sue looks disgusted. She says, I'll just brace myself here while he counts. But it had to happen.
Yeah.
No one could be surprised about that.
It's a Paul recipe and it specifically says 20 layers, so sure, he's going to count.
Yeah, you're going to get 20. And that's just how it's going to be. And here's Louis. Everyone loves Louis because it looks the best. Look at those layers, though.
Beautiful.
And I'll say, this cake's kind of dumb, but it is beautiful inside.
Oh, yeah. It's impressive.
Yeah. And, he really nailed it. Oh, and he looks happy. Happy Louis.
Oh, dear. Chetna not so happy.
Chetna not happy. 17 out of 20. That's a solid B. That's a solid B cake.
I wonder where she went wrong. Was it just not having the temperature high enough?
I don't know. But, they were saying it was dry on the bottom, so it makes me wonder... Maybe her sponge just wasn't whipped enough, and so the layers were maybe too thin. I don't know. It's a mystery to me. Richard, same problem, you know. The layers are too short, but he had the right number.
Yeah.
Oh, and Chetna rolls in last after not having a super first round. Not a great day for her.
No, and this is the wrong time to have a bad day.
Nancy, third. That's pretty unusual for her.
Yeah.
Richard, second, because he got the layers. He at least got the 20. And Louis takes it with his beautiful, beautiful cake.
Good for him. Good for him. Such a beautiful smile.
I know. Gosh, I just want to hug him and take him out for tea. Oh, he looks so happy.
Yeah, he's delighted. He should be.
He's like, never heard of this. Yeah, nobody looks too excited about doing this ever again.
Yeah. So much work for, I don't know. It is neat to look at, but doesn't seem worth it.
Oh, it's no way. It can't be worth it. I would never do that. But I will say, nobody failed, you know? When you get down to these four, again, they're all so talented. And they're, you know, even their failures are better than most people could do.
Oh, very true.
Which is nice. But that's got to be hard to be judged after that.
Yeah. Yeah, she knows she's going in at such a disadvantage.
She is. She is. And our little Easter egg people are back. Here we go.
Ooh.
Entremet.
Entremet. As German as the previous one sounded, this sounds so French.
This is absolutely French. Absolutely. So this started out as a little dish you'd eat between courses. So like, remember back in the 70s when you go to a fancy restaurant and you get that little bowl of sherbet?
Yeah.
Between courses? That was an entremet.
Okay.
But it has evolved into this complex pastry, which basically means a little bit of everything. So they're complex little pastries that have all different contrasting tastes, textures, colors. They're meant to have a lot of different small elements in them.
Okay.
Which is why they're all so beautiful. And there's Mary saying they need to be a work of art. These are the things you see in the window of a really good French patisserie.
And one thing I notice is Nancy is an expert with dramatic pauses.
She is. I'm telling you, she should have been one of the judges on the new one. I think that would have been awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, she's such a natural.
I know. I think she's just great. Or she just needs her own show or something.
Ah, yeah.
Well, I am enjoying, once again, her YouTube series, or her Twitter series, Ask Nancy. I've gotten so many good tips already. She's only on like day 50 out of 365, and already tips, tips, tips.
And do the tweets ever link to video accompaniment?
She always has a little video with them.
Okay.
But you're limited to a minute on Twitter.
Ah, okay.
So if it's longer, then she has a YouTube where she I think it's YouTube, where she would put something longer or link to a recipe.
Okay.
Yeah, it's great. But like she made a Victoria sponge a week or two ago, and she did it in 3 parts just so that you could, watch more video. No, they've been great. Super.
Good for her.
So here's Louis.
Right, and they have to do 2 each, is that correct?
Yes, they have to have 2 different entremet, and I think it's 12 pieces each, which is a lot. That is a lot of pieces. And Louis making a jelly, so like a little tiny Jell-O mold, and his is, I think it's pomegranate, which is interesting. But, they're outside. It is English summer at least. It's hot. Then they can make little jelly layers, which is hard to do. Love it.
And he's going Louis is with a pistachio, fig, and pomegranate for one of them.
Yeah.
Such an interesting combination, which on the surface of it doesn't seem like they'd combine very well.
I don't know. I mean, they're all sort of bright, fruity flavors.
Yeah.
And if the entremet is meant to be sort of contrasting flavors and textures, I could see all those as a single unit. And the other one is chocolate and cherry, which he's done before. That's clearly one of his favorites. And here we have Nancy's doing raspberry nonettes, which is an interesting word I've never heard of in my life.
And what does it mean?
I don't know. But they're sort of like rectangular fingers. Maybe that's what it means.
Let's see if I can find it right now.
Type that right in there. And the other one has lime, which yummy. And they're already naysaying her choices to cover up both of her entremet with a glaze instead of showing the layers, which is interesting.
Okay, so I guess it's traditional to be able to see all the different elements in it.
I think visually you want to see those sort of contrasting layers and colors. Covering all of that up is a surprise. And here's Richard, who's doing grapefruit, which I just love that so much.
See, any kind of citrus other than orange with baking just seems weird to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Orange is my least favorite of the citruses in baking.
Oh, okay. I see. I'm not a big grapefruit fan, so I'm sure that's what's flavoring my opinion.
It was called the forbidden fruit.
Why?
It didn't really appear until like the mid 1700s. It's a hybrid.
Oh,
It's an accidental hybrid from, I think, Barbados or something.
okay.
And probably because if the first few trees were so rare, they called it the forbidden fruit.
Interesting.
Do you know how they got to America?
I have no idea.
It was in the 1800s, and it was in Safety Harbor, which,
Ah.
for those who don't know, is a very small town about 20 minutes from us, 25 minutes. But yeah, the first grapefruit trees were brought to American shores in Safety Harbor, Florida.
Wow.
I know, it's crazy.
It's a very singular claim to fame.
It is, yes. The safe harbor of grapefruit. And here's Chetna describing her entremet, which have a lot going on.
Yeah, flavor after flavor after flavor.
There's a lot of, even all the judges just lost track. They're like, what are you even talking about? So she's got chocolate and orange with some kind of nut layer. And then cappuccino. Yummy.
Ooh, yeah, I'm in for that.
All about that.
So this kind of feels like a last ditch effort by her.
Well, you're going into the finals, right? She has literally nothing to lose.
Yeah.
I say go for it. They all seem to be kind of going for it.
That's true.
As they should. So, here's Richard saying, 10 or 11 processes in his recipe. I can't even imagine. And so they have, 4 or 5 hours to do this?
Yeah, they have quite a bit of time.
Yes and no.
Well, I guess relative to some of the other challenges, they have quite a bit of time.
True. But yeah, I mean, like jellies, those take a couple hours to set up. So you have to get those in there and hope that it's just not having another baked Alaska day.
Oh, dear.
Luckily, they're all sort of in there by themselves. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure that refrigerator behind Louis is Louis's and nobody else's.
Yeah, that certainly makes things easier.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and all of them are making mousses. Yummy.
And what's the base for a mousse?
Egg whites. It's not a meringue, but it has a lot of similar textures to it.
Okay. Now, it's just that I'm going to just whack this in the freezer. So I guess whack is a very malleable term.
There's a lot of whacking going on here. Yeah, that has a different use here in America, but that's fine.
Yeah,
That's not what we're doing here.
No.
And here's Richard. He's asking Nancy, how you doing on time? She's like, I don't have a clue. Things are going in.
Yes, I don't know if that's confident or reckless.
I think that's just a reflection that there's so much going on, it's hard to keep track. And here's Louis. He has made a sponge. Oh, he's made a beautiful green pistachio sponge, and I agree with him. That is a delight to look at.
Yeah, it looked beautiful.
As is Richard's.
Yes, these polka dots.
I love it. It's so cute. So now here's... Yeah, Louis like, I love chocolate cherry. So he's making his own sour cherry syrup. Now, see, those sponges look very flat to me from Nancy. I guess that's okay. She doesn't seem upset about it, but I don't know.
Well, would an entremet sponge typically be fluffier?
I always think of all sponges as being fluffy, but she may not want that because there's so many layers. You wouldn't want something that could maybe collapse. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what the theory is there. So he's making, I think, a mascarpone cream with butter. Not quite sure.
And as I think I learned from you in an earlier episode, mascarpone is not sweetened. Is that right? Or I forget.
You have to sweeten
Okay,
it if you want it sweet.
Okay.
It doesn't come out of the tub sweet, no. There's Louie's green sponges, which look crazy but fun.
Oh yeah.
I do love that color. It's really fun.
It really is a saturated green.
Very pistachio.
Here comes another Nancy dramatic pause. Nowhere near there.
Oh my God, that's so funny. And what is she opening?
White chocolate glaze.
White? Oh, that's interesting. So that's condensed milk. That she just opened.
Oh, she's making white chocolate glaze.
She is. I was like, surely she can't just take glaze out of a can, but no, that's condensed milk. And I love that they've ripped the label off because you're not a sponsor, condensed milk purveyor.
Ah, yeah, good eye.
That's someone's job, and I love it. So here's Chetna. She's piping in cappuccino cream, which looks a little loose to me, but so does Richard's. Grapefruit mousse, also looking a little loose.
So what would cause that?
Oh, it's just the how long you've whipped it, but they're putting it in the refrigerator, so it might just be fine. Okay. We'll see. Oh.
That looks delightful.
Yes.
Chocolate and cherries.
So here is everyone's starting to pop them out of their little molds, and they've either gotten lucky or they didn't.
Whew. And Louis came as close to swearing as I think we've ever heard on the show. He said, "Flippin' heck."
Shocking.
Yes, watch your mouth, Louis.
Chetna's pulled hers out and realizes, nope, put those back in. That's not right. Run!
Chetna just said damn, so she won up Louis.
Shocking behavior.
Yeah, this is so not an American show.
I feel quite whacked right now. There's Richards. He's smoothing his off. And Nancy's pouring white chocolate glaze on hers, which looks way too loose to me.
It was just dripping through that grill.
Yeah, I didn't care for the way that was looking at all, but it's funny. Sue was like, calorie soup.
Yeah, all that condensed milk. Ew.
And here's Louis flipping out his little jellies, which really look good. They came out great. Look how many extra he made, though. He's got like 24 jellies over there for 12 things.
Well, better that than the alternative, I suppose.
Heck yeah, man. Don't leave that to chance. And here's Chetna's little orange and chocolate things with her own candied orange slices, which look really pretty. I thought that was nice.
Yeah. And Sue is just over by Chetna's table. She seems genuinely concerned for Chetna.
Oh, Mel. Yeah.
It was Mel, I meant. Yeah.
I know. I mix their names up all the time. Oh, and Chetna just knocked one over, but that's okay. She rescued it.
Oh, boy, that is really thin.
Nancy's pouring her chocolate basically all over the counter. It looks terrible. That is disgusting. Well, someone's got to clean that up, and it's probably Nancy. Now, Richards look delightful.
They do. They look perfect.
That pink is so cute.
And now he did not glaze it over or sauce it over, so maybe that gave him an advantage.
All his layers are visible. Yeah. His look beautiful. But there's a lamb. And isn't that the most beautiful thing of all?
It really is.
Now look at this chocolate with the little swirly pattern. We didn't see him make that. I wonder how that happened.
Yes, that's in my notes too, because if they didn't show him making it, I imagine it's something that he purchased. Because, I mean, there's no way he made that.
I don't know.
Because, I mean, that is...
It's perfect.
Yeah, it looks, manufactured in a very artful way.
Yeah, I have no idea where that came from. And then they don't ever comment on it, which makes me think that he did make it, but...
Well, maybe there's certain things you can get away with getting prefab, if it's just garnish, essentially.
I guess, but they loved that one. And look at that little, I think that watermelon, or grapefruit one looks adorable.
It really does.
They're a little sad about it not tasting grapefruity enough, but it's so beautiful.
Good, he nailed it.
Nailed it. Here's Nancy's. She did lime and passion fruit. And I note that her little raspberry nonettes is the cover photo for when you buy this show from Amazon.
Really?
That is the item in the picture.
Because it's certainly not the most perfect looking thing that's been made on the show.
No, but when you get up close, it's chocolatey and raspberry, and I guess people like that.
Yeah. Yeah, they look nice cut open, though.
They do. That little rectangle of jelly in the middle is so clever. That's really fun. Little hidden surprise.
Okay, so she did all right.
They like it. They just don't like the presentation.
Yeah, yeah.
And again, we've got a hidden jelly in there, which is kind of weird and wobbly. But it just looks not good.
Yeah, unfortunate.
Such a shame. The insides look great and the outsides don't.
Louis, on the other hand.
Look at the pomegranate, fig, and pistachio one. It is so fun.
Yeah, very festive looking.
I don't know. It's like something out of Willy Wonka.
Yes, yeah, very whimsical.
Very. It's just with a little pointy hat. Oh, I like it. Oh, Mary's digging it.
Yeah, really, so many of his results have looked like works of art.
Oh, yeah. No, the chocolate cherry is not artwork, but it looks good.
Yeah.
Looks pretty delicious. Oh, and they're digging it. No, and he did the hidden layer in there too, and it looks so cute.
So is that just a matter of putting a layer of sponge and then the layer of jelly or whatever it is that's going to be in the middle? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. So here's Chetna's. She's got cappuccino, which look a little melty.
And she has to knock it completely out of the park.
Oh, I don't think so.
Yeah, right out of the gate, there's issues.
They're digging the cappuccino flavor, though. So many coffee things don't taste coffee enough. So I love that she really nailed that. They're looking at, this is chocolate and orange that they're looking at, and they're disappointed. Yeah,
the layers are there, but too similarly colored.
I get that, though. You know, if she'd put like a light color sort of right in the middle to punch up the whole look of the thing.
Yeah, would have been more interesting looking.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with them on that. And it's too chocolate and not enough orange. That's a shame. She knows she's probably screwed right now.
Yeah.
Black lamb.
Aw. Because that was really strike 3 for Chetna. The other 2 rounds did not go terribly well for her either.
The first one was meh, and the second one was definitely not good. And here we are in judgment looking at them all. And both judges agree that the guys did great.
Yeah.
And golly, they sure did. That polka dot thing is so cute.
It's just pleasing to look at and fun.
Really is. Yeah, Mary's loving it. Absolutely perfect.
And I wonder if the polka dots are a fairly typical thing or if that was unusually creative on Richard's part.
You know, this goes all the way back to the first episode where they made the jelly rolls, the Swiss rolls, and he painted that pattern. Remember the floral pattern?
Oh, yes.
And then put the sponge on top of that so that when he rolled it up, the floral pattern was exposed. Exact same technique.
Okay.
So not super unusual, but just enough, I think, to make it unusual. It's not just a sponge. It's a sponge that, has elements to it that are just, he really had to think about it and make it look cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, that goes all the way back to week 1. And here we are. There's only 4 of them. Oh, the tent looks so empty.
It does, and Louis' cherry-stained apron makes it look like he came from a butcher shop or a murder scene or something.
They all got stuff all over them. Richard gets Star Baker 5th time in a row.
That's amazing.
And we've only had 8 shows.
Yeah.
No, 9 shows. This is 9 shows. So
That's right. That's still greater than 50%.
That's amazing. I'm going to call him Dickie 5 times. That's his name now. It's his mob name.
Yeah, really. Mel is fighting the tears.
She is, and it's Chetna, and she knew. She knew.
Yeah.
She is not weeping. She is... Yeah, it was going to happen. Oh, and everyone loves her. And Mary, to her credit, just says, just didn't have it. Not this week.
Not her day.
But that's okay.
Yeah, and as Paul mentions, weakest link in a very, very strong chain.
Yeah. I love it. Oh, and she just loves Richard. Expecting to not go. That's pretty good goals.
Yeah. It's like aim for the middle.
And here's Nancy. And Nancy has just wept.
Yes.
She's crying. She's so happy to make it to the final.
I love how she says, and I don't do crying.
I love that. But it's just wonderful.
Oh, and Louis. Now here's where I want to cry.
Somebody hug him.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's just happy that his family is so proud.
Yeah. Good for him.
So there are our finalists: Nancy, Louis, Richard. All worthy contenders.
Indeed. And now I noticed that the final has no particular kind of baking associated with its title.
It is the final. Yes, there's not a theme. They can pick whatever they want.
All right, anything goes.
Yes, but lovely Chetna will not be there. She's so great. I'm going to shout out her book. It's called Cardamom Trail, and all of the reviews have been fantastic.
I love that title.
Oh, it's a great title. But she was in, I want to say, like the top 10 cookbooks in Britain or something last year.
Oh, fantastic.
It's apparently a very good book. So I have not seen it yet myself, but it's definitely on my list to check out. And if you don't want to buy her book, but you do want some awesome recipes, Food with Chetna on YouTube is not a baking show. She does Indian dishes, so all kinds of vegetarian, non-vegetarian, your tikka masalas and your vegetable dishes and all the paneer and patak you can stomach, and it's really great. She's had her mom on a few episodes.
Oh, neat.
So fun. Her sister's been on some. It's a really fun series that she's got. So definitely check her out on YouTube. Food with Chetna. She's just
great.
Really entertaining as a host.
Just another reason to love the internet, that it allows, nice people like her to have a fame of sorts,
Exactly. So
close to the end.
I can't believe it. Joel, we've almost completed an entire series of this show.
All right, go us.
Only 8 more to go.
Are there that many, really?
Well, we have 2 more to go of the American version, and then there's series 7, which has yet to be shown in this country. You and I have never seen. And that doesn't count the previous, 3 series that seem to be really, really difficult to get.
Okay.
So we just finished British Series 5. Then we're going to go back to British Series 4, skip ahead to British Series 6, then British Series 7.
This is more confusing than the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Right? Who is Cable?
I don't
Whose
know.
child is he?
I don't know anymore.
Do we know anymore? No, we don't.
It all just blends.
Well, Zachary. Who's Cable?
Zachary's effectively a cast member now.
He might as well be. We should contact him and interview him for the show.
Oh, that'd be great.
I would love it.
Oh, me too.
We don't even know where he is or if his name's really Zachary.
Doesn't matter. He tweeted at us. That's all it takes.
That's right. It could be you, everybody. All you have to do is drop us a note. You'll be on the interview list just like that.
We're very easy.
Well, we could ramble on, but Joel, it's Friday night.
Yes, time to get on with the evening.
I think we're done. And I hope you enjoy your weekend.
And you too.
Thank you. I will. Well, good night, everybody. See you for the finals next week. No, 2 weeks. I get this wrong every time. Really soon.
Yeah, really, eventually. Very possibly in 2 weeks.
Catch us on Twitter, catch us on Facebook, and we will tell you when we are coming out with a new episode. Oi.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.